Welcome to the next video in our Getting Started playlist with DJ Event Planner. In this video, we're going to talk about the website tools. We're going to do a brief overview of them, talk about the default styling options, as well as touch base on the most popular tools, how you can get the code to link to it or embed in your website, and then we'll dive a little bit deeper in one of the more popular lead capture tools, the request information form. So to begin, to access your website tools, they can be found in the left menu here by clicking on Website Tools. Here at the top, you'll find a couple boxes. These are your options. Here you can find your styling options. If you'd like to add some Google settings as far as the analytics tags, Google reCAPTCHA, etc., you can click on that and take you there. And then Help FAQs will link you to helpful FAQs. To begin, let's take a quick look at the styling options. By clicking this box, it'll take you into our styling options settings, and here you can set the default styling options for all your website tools. Here you can link to your company logo. If you need more information about adding images in DJ Event Planner, be sure to see our tutorial on how to add images in DJ Event Planner. You can adjust the background color, include a background image, manipulate the text, color, as well as the table colors, which is this section here. You can also stylize the button to match your branding, and you can change the border color, the background color, the text color, as well as the border of the button, padding, and margin, including text size and text weight. Last but not least, under Advanced, you can set what link your logo will link to if a client clicks on it. You can also adjust the default font size. As always, once you're done making your appearance settings here, make sure to click on Save Settings. Now let's take a quick look at the tools that are available and some of the more popular ones. Obviously, the client portal is something that you'll want to set up. We're not going to dive too deep into that in this video, but you can adjust the appearance settings, the appearance as well as different settings for the client portal. If you'd like to have your potential clients visiting your website check your availability prior to, there are check availability website tools. As far as gathering leads, there's three forms. There's a request information form, contact form, and the instant quote tool, all three which can be embedded into your website, and all three are very different. The contact form is a very basic contact form. There are no bells and whistles with it. The request for information form is a little bit more advanced, includes the ability to customize the questions and more, as well as a built-in autoresponder. And the instant quote tool can be used for anything from an interactive contact form all the way up to a fully autonomous booking tool where clients can enter their information, be presented with what packages you have, select a package, see the add-ons available for that package, and then be presented with a price, be taken to the contract to sign it right from within inside the tool without ever having to talk to you. There are music databases already built into the software as well. You can manipulate your choice underneath the music database settings, or you can upload your own music database here as well. You can also set up your payment gateway here. We're not going to dive too much further into that, but if you'd like to accept payments online via your client portal, we do have APIs for PayPal, Stripe, Authorize.net, and Square, which will allow you to automate that payment process. There's also the ability to manipulate guest requests if you'd like to allow your clients to send a link to their guests of their event and have their guests submit requests. You can set that up underneath the guest requests here, and then feel free to check out some of the other website tools here. When you're ready to embed a tool into your website, you can preview the tool first by clicking the preview button underneath that tool, and it will load in its own page. This would be exactly how it'll appear if you use the direct link to this tool. Now, by direct link, what I mean is when you click on the green Get Code button, you can access the direct link right here and paste that and use it anywhere you like. So if you want to include it in an email template, text message, whatever, you can use that direct link there. Or if you wanted to link to it via menu item on your website or from a button already on your website, you can use this direct link. There are additional options as well if you wanted to have an HTML link, HTML button, or embed it directly into your web page. There's two types of versions to the code that you'll see. This one is a dynamic version, and down here at the bottom below those you'll see static codes. The dynamic version, when embedded into your website, will update automatically when you make changes to that particular website tool inside of your DJ Event Planner account. If you use the static version, every time you need to make a change, you'll have to come in and get a fresh copy of the code and update it in your website editor. Each has their own varying different uses. It all depends upon your use needs. I do, however, encourage that if you're going to embed it into your website, that you start with one of the mobile-ready versions of the code, as they are the most current. Now let's take a look into capturing those leads from your website. Again, I said we're going to touch base on the most popular lead capture form, which is the request for information form. When you're ready to set this up, you'll click on Questions. Here you can change the question wording. You can choose what questions are included. Underneath Custom Questions, you can create different questions if you'd like that are not included underneath the default questions. In the first column here, you'll enter the wording of that question. If you check the Required box, that'll make that question required, which means your potential clients will have to answer that question before they can submit the form. If you'd like to have options that they can select from, you can put them into the options list. If you separate them with a semicolon, they'll be available to select from a drop-down. If you check the CB box, that means checkbox, those options will now become a checkbox option. And with your custom questions, you can choose what field in DJ Event Planner that data is going to get automatically mapped to. So you can select what section or what field you want that entered information to go to. Underneath the Include and Exclude tab, you'll have the option to either allow clients to enter new venues if you include a venue list. You can also choose what venues are included or excluded in the venue dropdown if you include the venue dropdown option, as well as packages and employees. Last but not least, underneath Advanced, these are some great advanced options. If you're using a specific static form of the code, you can set up a custom thank you page. You'd enter the URL of where that custom thank you page is located and then click on Get Code, and the system will generate that code that you can add to the code when you embed it on your website. Same thing for inquiry source. This is helpful if you have multiple brands or different websites and you want to track specifically where that submitted request for information form came from. These down here are as if you have your own form that you want to utilize to send information into DJ Event Planner. We're not going to get deep into that right now. You make sure that you know what you're doing, and there's a lot of testing involved when you utilize your own form. But that is possible from this section right here. Now underneath the autoresponder settings, as I mentioned, the request information form has its own autoresponder built into it. By default, it is disabled, so you'd want to enable it. You can add a template here that will automatically go out as soon as the client submits a request for information. You can either add a plain text template or an HTML template. Plain text is strictly that. It's just text. You cannot format it. You cannot add images. You can't add hyperlinks, etc. If you want to format the text, add images, hyperlinks, you're going to want to add an HTML template. However, one caveat I like to say here is that this is the very first communication that your clients are going to receive from you. And I personally prefer to use a plain text email template here because it's going to be the first one that they get. If you send an HTML template that has a ton of links and a lot of images, there is a chance that their inbox may filter that message to their spam or junk folder. And I like to make sure that we get into their inbox, and I like to include, make sure to whitelist our email address in that initial email. There will be a default reply here that you can edit. This will go out to every event that submits a request for information form unless you set up a custom one. So you can set up a different autoresponder to go out based upon a specific event type or types. You can also choose who it comes from, and you can also choose to not send an autoresponder for a specific event type if you'd like. As far as the content, it's just like any other email. The subject line and the body are both merge tag capable. However, you want to make sure that the merge tags you're including are questions that you're asking on the form. You can find those underneath the merge tags down here in the drop-down and select what field you'd like to include, and then insert that into the content body. And of course, as always, once you've made those changes, make sure to click on Save. And that's all we've got for you in this brief overview of the website tools. Of course, look out for other videos where we're going to dive deeper into individual tools in more detail. Should you ever have any questions or run into trouble, make sure to find us via support options in the left menu. We have live chat that's available 9 to 5 Monday through Friday Central Standard Time, as well as the support forum that's available all the time. Hopefully you found this video helpful. Give us a like and a follow to be notified of new videos, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Happy planning.